Oh, yeah. Hello? 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 All right, home next week. Hey, welcome. Hey, can you all hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. So welcome, by the way. My name is Rick. I'm one of the marketing directors for a couple of the KW offices. So I'll be teaching this class today. I am having some audio difficulties. I'm not quite sure as to what's exactly causing that. So if you ask a question and I don't hear you, post it in the chat, and I'll definitely make sure to stay on top of it. So I'll give a few minutes, see if anyone wants to come in. But welcome. I'm pretty excited that I get to teach you all. Hi, Deborah.
Hey, what you doing?
I am getting ready to start this class.
Alrighty.
So I'm just having some issues with audio. I was letting everyone know ahead of time. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I can't hear as loudly. So
Are you in an actual office?
yeah, this is my office.
Look at you. Crazy. All right, so I'm gonna go brush my teeth real quick, and I will be back.
Yeah, I'll give it maybe about a minute or so.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of get started.
Yeah, don't wait for me, for sure. Because you know, I am. Okay, I'll be right back.
Alrighty, y'all. Thanks so much for coming through. I know that there's both going on and so many classes that are available to everyone. I just figured a designs class would be great just because with all of the, I guess with everything that's been happening, and just with so many people working from home and working virtually, just shifting our efforts to a more digital presence, designs is kind of a key way to also kind of start marketing your business in that way. So that's why I figured a designs class would be phenomenal at this point in time, right? Hey, welcome, Erica. Alrighty, so so I figured I'd give it about a minute or so, so that I know people kind of like to join in. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to be going over command designs, and what I'll be doing is I'll be showing you all how to get to command, how to go through the designs, and also how to create, social media graphics as well as print graphics, how to play with your library, how to add your files, and I'll show you where to find the KW Woodlands logo, as well as just resources that will help you create marketing material for even just non-real estate related posts. So it should be pretty good. I'll try to be as descriptive as possible while at the same time getting to the point. Do not hesitate to ask questions. Put them in the chat would be the best way. So yeah, and hopefully we'll have a pretty productive class. So in the moment, I'm just kind of getting everything prepared. So if y'all just give me a quick second, and we should be good to get started. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Sweet. Can you all? Okay, great. Can everyone see my screen? Yes. Awesome. Let's see. Hey, Janice, welcome. So I had been giving it a few minutes just to allow more people to come in, and I'll go ahead and get started. So, all right, everyone. So I want to show you a little bit about what command is about. Command Designs is about. So Command Designs is a platform. It's an applet within Command that is going to allow us to create graphics so that you could market your business, market your listings, and just create awesome marketing collateral that's going to allow you to promote yourself and just kind of get out in front of people. As I mentioned earlier, I know that with everything going on and just with the whole pandemic situation and people shifting to working from home and virtually, it's a great time to kind of shift a lot of our marketing efforts to go to a more digital platform. And Command Designs is going to allow you to kind of market yourself at a high level by putting out quality marketing material. So again, y'all, if you have any questions or a comment, I have double screens, so I do have the chat window open in another, and I'm having audio issues, so I can't hear everyone. So I apologize for that ahead of time. I'm not quite sure what's going on. So getting started. So Command Designs it's one of the applets here in Command, and it's what you can do is once you log into Command by going to agent.kw.com, you log in. If you click the red Command button on the top left corner, it opens up the applet icons so that you can see the descriptions or the names for each one. So designs is going to be the one that has the little app, the little tablet that looks like it's got a tablet and a little pencil or stylus on there. So that's where you'll find the designs tab. I'm sorry, I'm admitting people in. So when you click on designs, it's going to take you to your kind of design. This is like a dashboard, I guess, for designs. So mine looks like this. Do not feel odd if yours looks a little different. These are the templates that I've created. So if you haven't used designs before, then you'll notice that yours is going to be yours is probably going to be empty or might have less than what I do. I've just, because of all the classes that I've taught, I've created graphics for each one of those. So this is going to be the screen that kind of shows you everything that you've created. You'll see buttons at the top, like the email, landing page, social. These buttons are filters. So if you've created a print design in the past that you just kind of want to find and look for and go back to, you can, once you're here in the My Design templates, you can get on print, and it's going to filter only the print designs that you've created. So it'll show you only the print ones. Or if you've created a video, it'll show you only the videos that you've created and so forth. So this is a great way to just kind of go back to anything that you've created and, just kind of filter, use these buttons to filter. So I saw that some people joined recently, so welcome everyone. So I was just kind of showing a quick overview of what the dashboard is right before we start the actual class. So now that we're going to start, I want to introduce myself now that everyone else or more people are in. My name is Rick Martin. I am a marketing specialist for Keller Williams Woodlands, and I'm also, I do help other market centers with marketing for the brokerage as well as for some agents. So I will be around to teach some of these classes, and I'm just around generally to help the leadership and just help your office with marketing needs and just kind of help provide more value, both to agents and so that agents can provide more value to your clients.
He's a marketing rock star.
Thank you. I'll take that. So I know this is like the fourth time that I've repeated it. I am having audio issues for the new people that joined. So please type questions in the chat box. That way I won't miss them in case I can hear Deborah because I know she's generally loud overall. But I think someone was asking questions earlier and I couldn't hear. So I apologize for that. But I do have the chat window open in another window, and I'll be able to look at those. So yeah, let's get started. So once you're ready to create a design, once you've clicked on designs and you're in your template, there's a blue button on the bottom right hand corner with a plus sign on it. That's your create a design button. So if you're going to create a design, that's the button that you're going to click, and you're going to select which type of design that you want to create. Today, we're going to focus on social and print. The email option is still, it still has some updates that need to happen, so I don't want to go into that. If we have time, I'll go into the video, which is awesome. I love the video feature, and it's really easy. So if we have time, I'd like to go over that as well. There is an import PDF feature. The import PDF feature is actually pretty awesome. I wouldn't say it's functioning 100% for complicated items, but what that does is if you happen to have a flyer in a PDF format that someone's created for you in the past or someone has shared with you, Command will allow you to import the PDF, and it will kind of analyze the document, and it will take apart all the elements in the text and turn it into an editable format to the best of its ability, obviously. So it's pretty great because if you had maybe a marketing helper or assistant or someone that created a flyer for you in the past and you're just kind of like, hey, you lost contact with them, you can always import that PDF into Command, and it will do its best to just segment all of the elements and it'll recreate the design for you within Command so that then you can edit the text, swap out the photos, and so forth. So that's a really cool feature. That was one of the latest features. I think it came out around the same time as the videos did. So as I mentioned, we'd be focusing on social and print. It's important to decide which one, to choose a correct one. The reason is because the difference between social and print is going to be not only just the dimensions of the graphics, but also the resolution. So what I like to advise is anything that's going to be displayed on the web whether it's going to be done on social media or on a website, or you're just anything that's going to be viewed on a screen, I guess, like even on a mobile screen. If your design is going to be meant to be viewed on a screen, whether it's a monitor, or a phone or anything, go with the social option, because the resolution is going to be optimized for a screen. If you're going to create a design for print, then use the print option, because it's going to be at a 300 DPI, which is a resolution that is usually required by printers for print, and it's going to be a lot higher quality. So when it comes to web, just a quick, just kind of like a cool little fact. When it comes to web resolution, because just the way technology is, the resolution for an image for the web is a lot lower. It's 72 DPI, so it looks great on the screen, but when you print it, you'll notice that it's a little blurry. So just that's why I recommend make sure that you select ahead of time what it's for. So we're going to go ahead and create a social media design. So I'm going to click social media. I'm going to hit next, and it's going to kind of load. It's going to do its thinking and then bring us into the actual template creator. So once it brings us here, this is where you're going to select a template. So it's really awesome. KWRI has done an awesome job of creating templates for different aspects of the business. So as an agent, obviously you work with listings, you work with buyers, you work with tenants, or sometimes you're just wanting to promote your app. So KWR has done a great job of itemizing kind of like these categories, splitting them up. So you'll see on the left here. So these are all the templates that are available. My screen should look the same as everyone else's once you log in. And you'll see that you've got listings, buyer, lead generation. These are all categories, and they've got a little a little triangle next to them. It's a little drop-down menu. So if I click on listings, you'll see that it'll I'll have a sub menu come up, and I'll be able to create. It gives me for sale, just listed, price update. It gives me different categories. So it's pretty cool, just because if I click on for sale, it'll show me different graphics that I can create for a listing, a for sale graphic. Now, on the right side, you see that it says the amount of, this is how many templates we've got. So for sale, we've got 163. And I have agents that kind of scroll through and they're like, hey, Rick, this doesn't look like 163 graphics. So if you see on top of here, where it says Facebook and Instagram, it actually has them divided into the proper sizes for each social media platform. So if you see Facebook, it's formatted already for the Facebook. It's optimized for Facebook. If you click on Instagram, it's a square. It's a 1:1 format. So it's optimized for Instagram, and so forth for stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Just a tip, just because I've done marketing for quite a long time. If you're going to be kind of creating graphics for Facebook and for Instagram, even though I prefer the Facebook graph just because of the dimension, it's a wider format. If you're going to be using both, you can create an Instagram graphic, which is a square. It's a 1:1 format, because Instagram takes 1:1 a lot better than any other format, but Facebook accepts both. So if you're going to be using a graphic for both social media platforms, then I would advise to create an Instagram one. I personally, because I use Facebook more than anything else, I like to create the Facebook layouts. Just know that if you use a square, it'll look great in both Facebook and Instagram. So here you'll see, that's why it says 163, because we've got we've got templates for different social media platforms. So, moving on, there's different categories. We can do a just listed flyer. We can do a buyer. There's neighborhood snaps. There's killer mortgage flyers. So as you can see, we've got graphics for just all aspects of the business. It's not only to promote a listing or an open house, but you can also promote, your app. You can promote just your business. You can use graphics for lead generation. So I would advise for you all to go through these and just kind of play around with them. There's some really awesome graphics. And the great thing is that they're all customizable. So if you see a for sale flyer that you like, but you want to use it for an open house instead, then it's as easy as just swapping out the text. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. So I'm going to look for a just listed flyer. So once you see one that you like, I kind of like this one because it shows a picture of the house and it's got some stats. When you mouse over it, you'll see that it'll give you this overlay. It'll kind of give you the name of the graphic at the bottom, and it'll have the use button. So once you click the use button, I am using a Facebook layout. it's going to bring us into the actual editor. So this is the editor. This is where you'll be able to, you know, change the text, adjust the photos, and just kind of move things around. So it's actually really awesome. If you've ever used Canva, it's a really similar, it's a very similar function where it's kind of a drag and, you know, click and drag. So as you can see, I've got my mouse pointer going over the different elements of the graphic. And I don't know if you can see it. I know it's kind of faint on my screen, but you'll see a little bounding box that kind of shows up. It highlights. It highlights around the element, and that's kind of what shows you that, you know, that element is, I can select, you know, the price, the address, and so forth. Can you 2 to 3 weeks on the same postcard for mailings? All right, so so that bounding box goes, it shows you what you're selecting. So I've got Renata on here asking, you know, can you add 2 to 3 listings? So I'm going to move forward with the class, and you'll see that you'll be able to customize just about everything. I think in this basic class, I might not be able to get to show you how, but it can definitely be done, and it's actually not that difficult. So, you know, I'll move on with this for now, and thank you for posting the question in the chat box. All right, so on the left, this is kind of your toolbar. So you see that says images, text, icons, and logos. So these are the items that you can utilize to just plug in, you know, information and plug in just data, photos, and so forth. So they did do an update recently where if you are not clicked on an image, you'll see that the images option disappears. So I'll kind of walk you through really quickly how to create a design. So if anyone has, and also if anyone has a listing that they'd like me to use as an example, you know, put the address in the chat box and I'll pull it up. It'd be pretty awesome to do that. So now that I'm here, you know, I've got this property, 1050 Heather Lane. If I want to use Westheimer Road instead of Heather Lane, it's as easy as just come into the text. I'll double click into it and it becomes a cursor, you know, so I can edit text the same way I would like in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. So I can just, you know, go in here and just either change it into lower caps, I can use all caps, and it'll let me replace the text. There's bounding boxes, so once you click on the box, you can, you know, you'll see these kind of cursors where you can stretch it out, make it smaller. You can, you know, do the corners and, you know, stretch it out in size. So this is a crop, this is a resize, and you can do that to just about every piece of text in design. So it's as simple as just coming in, double clicking, changing the price, 450,000, and, you know, doing the same thing here, changing, you know, it's actually 4 bedrooms, it's, you know, 2.5 baths, you know, 2,300 square feet. And so that's how easy it is to edit things in Command in design. So, you know, once you click out, it's done. So on the left, you know, you'll be able to swap out images, swap out text, even change colors and so forth. So on the left side, you'll see your tools. So you see your images. There are stock images that you can use. So you'll see that you can add your own images here. So you can upload an image on, if you've downloaded images or you've got high resolution ones that you want to use, like for print marketing, you can upload them here just from your computer. You just select add, or you can just drag it in there and it'll upload the photo into Command so you can use it. Mainly what people use this for is to upload their like headshot. You know, that's not something that's available on HAR or something. So if you've got your headshot, you can upload it in here. That way you can use it for graphics where you're going to have your headshot with your contact info, excuse me. So that's what the add button is for. In company, you'll see right here where it says add company in my library. In company, there are stock photos that KWRI has added to Command. So there are images for, you know, your app. So if you want to create a graphic that markets the app, you know, they're available here. The 3 buttons kind of the 3 dots takes you back. You've got just generic stock photos. So stock photos are images that you can use that are just generic, and you have the rights. You know, KWR has bought the rights to, so that their agents can use these photos in their marketing. So these are just images that you can plug into listing presentations or into flyers or graphics that you want to post on social media. So yeah, there's quite a few, you know, there's lifestyle, there's activities, there's neighborhoods, and even different house types. So this is pretty cool if you're creating a generic flyer. You know, you can use a different home type or building type to kind of promote whatever, you know, whether you're targeting a specific type of property or listing. So that's pretty cool. You can use any of these photos in your graphics. And of course, then there's your library. Your library is any photo that you've uploaded into your library that's available at any time. So this is an agent that I had created a graphic for at one point, and her image is always kind of there in the library. So below that, you see text. Text is also pretty cool. It's really just, it's an option for you to add. So you can just click and add text like this. So if you notice, it brought the subtitle link, and I can just double click into it and just edit. I can edit and write my name, or write anything. So that's kind of how that works. So I've got someone asking me how do I scroll down? Are you referring to how do I scroll down?
Hi, Rick, this is Shelley. Yes, I just switched over so I could be watching on the iPad and try to follow along. And I can see, like, when I clicked on flyer, then I clicked on the listing, the for sale, trying to see your image. And I can see, and I clicked on flyer's letter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and then I can't scroll down. How do you navigate? Not on that part, but on the first part where you were selecting your listings? Like, there's no navigating bar or anything.
Are you referring to where the templates are?
Yeah, I'm on my laptop. Mm-hmm.
There is no navigating. So I think so that's one of the things that I mentioned earlier. It shows that there's 130 templates, but they're divided by format. So if you look on top, you'll see that,
right,
say Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram or something. If you click on those, you'll see the rest of them.
Okay, I tried that. Okay, because it looks like.
So what we can do, Shelley, is I'll hold off at the end of class.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'll stick around and maybe we can share screens, or I can kind of walk you through it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so below the images tool, you'll see the text tool. So this is just it gives you a title, a subtitle, a body, and text. You can just click and drag. You can drag something over, and it'll kind of populate it, and then it's as easy as just double clicking to edit. So that's what the text tool is for. I don't use it as much simply because most of the layouts already got text. They already have text in place. So I honestly wouldn't mess around with it. Unless you want to get like really custom, then it's fine. But I probably wouldn't mess around too much with it. But it's there. It's definitely there, and it works great. I just like to use the text that's already in place because it's already formatted, and even the colors and so forth. So, but that's what it is. There are banners. Banners are like they're already like custom created text. I've been having issues with it lately, so I'm sure they're working on an update, and it'll work pretty easy right now. I've been having trouble editing the text in there, so it's not something I would use anyway, but it's there if you want to try it and play around with it. So that's what the text function is for, and then they've got icons. I think these icons are pretty cool. They're great contact, the little contact buttons that you can put next to either a business card, or if you want to add them next to a phone number or a website. I just use the company ones. They've got a stock of all sorts of icons that some of them have social media icons. Some of them, to me, just don't kind of apply to real estate. So I would just kind of stay away from that. Unless, again, you're creating something customized, but the company ones are great. They're pretty odd. You just click, it brings them in, and you can just resize them. And, you can put these next to, like, if this were an email address, you would put them here. And, it's kind of creates a little graphic. So, by the way, when you see me delete items, I'm just clicking on them and I'm hitting the delete button on my keyboard. Or you can also use the trash button here where it says remove. So just thought, I know I'm just kind of going pretty quickly through that. So that's what the icons are. And then the logos tab. The logos tab is going to be where you have your
Go ask your sissies to come down and get dressed too, please.
Oh, hey, Sherry.
Oh, I'm
It's okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to mute you. We were listening. So alrighty. So I'm sorry, I was going through the settings. So this is where you're going to be logos. So any logos that you've uploaded, your DBA logo, so the KW Woodlands logo, is going to show up here. It shows you 6 slots. And the reason for it is because you can have your team logo. If you've got a team or you've got your own kind of brand identity going, you can upload that logo here. And then I would advise uploading the DBA logo. Oh, I just realized that there's been an update. So there used to be a button down here that said add to library, and it was that easy. And so now we've got to do it through the actual library, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. But just know this is where you locate the logo. Once you've uploaded it, it's there. I personally like to have, it's okay, Sherry. I personally like to have different colors just because some of them look better in front of other backgrounds. So you've got like recently I did a class for the Metropolitan, which is why you see the Metropolitan logo here. But if you've noticed, I've got the red and gray, which is the normal KW logo that the KW creates for the market centers. Then I've got the red and white one, and then I've got an all white one. And that's because sometimes, when you're creating your logo, sometimes it's not as noticeable because of the background image. So you can always kind of opt to use maybe the all white. That'll probably look a little better, like here, like in front of the green, it's a lot more noticeable. So I would advise just having a couple of different options available at all times. That way it's just a quick, just click and create and then get it downloaded. So this is where your logos are going to be. For some offices, and I would just like to kind of say, talk to your compliance director. I know TREC requirements do ask that we all, and Deborah, let me know if this is different for your office. But I know that the DBA logo, which is the KW Woodlands logo, does have to be on all your marketing.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Oh, hey, Janice. So make sure that you have that KW Woodlands logo just kind of readily available at all times there in your library. That way, you can just kind of always just slap it in there and just, make sure that it's visible. I believe that it has to be at least half the size of the largest contact info. That way you're compliant. And it's as easy as just clicking here, dragging it, and just resizing it, and boom. So that's what those toolbars are on the left. Are there any questions so far? Is that kind of making sense? Am I moving too quickly, too slow?
Going good.
Good.
All the logos are on the internet. You can click on marketing and go to logos and branding, and you can get the red, white, and black logos. You can get all gray. You can get all white. You can get a white background. You can get a clear background. So all the logos that you need are going to be in the logos and branding.
Right. So what Janice is saying is absolutely correct. So if you're in KW Connect and you come over to resources and go down to marketing, you'll see that there's the logos and branding, and it's really neat. And actually, I really wish I brought this up at the beginning of class. That would have been a great kind of intro. So in this logos and branding, you'll see that there's a KW identity style guide, which goes over the color codes, the main KW logo, and so forth. And if you scroll down to where it says Market Center logos, you can type in your Market Center number here in the search box and find the Woodlands, and you can download it. It'll download a zip file with all of the logos and all the formats. So I think that's really cool, and it's very useful, especially if maybe someone at the office isn't around in the moment if you need a logo immediately. This is a great way to get it on your own if you need it in that very moment, especially if someone just doesn't quite get to it maybe on time because there's other things going on. And it'll also have all the formats. So if you're getting signage done by like a professional printer, it'll have the vector formats. And if you've got, and again, you probably won't use those unless someone asks you for them, but just know that they're there, which is, I think it's great to have them all centralized.
Great. And Rick, and where would we find, can you refresh my memory on where we find the link to our app?
Oh, that would be in your site settings in the consumer applet. So right now we're in the design section. So right below that, when you're in command, right below that, there's a consumer applet where if you click on that, you'll see the site and app settings button, and that'll show you the link. So I know we won't be getting into that into this class, but it's underneath the designs.
Okay. I saw where that had like on the social where it like promoting your app. Does that automatically load on that, or what? Something we have to load?
So those are graphic templates that are available here in designs in case you want to promote your app. But the actual link itself, if you don't know what the link is, you would have to go into the consumer section of Command and then go to the site and app settings, and it'll have the link there, and it'll have your app code as well.
Okay.
And
Thank
that
you.
way, once you know it, then you'll be able to come into designs and kind of edit that information in the actual graphic. Awesome. So that's what these toolbars are. That's what the toolbars are here on the left side. They come in handy. Once, if you're trying to customize, something that's not on the flyer. For the most part, it won't be necessary. Hey, Janice, do you happen to have a listing that I can use as an example?
I don't practice real estate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Is there anyone that could share maybe a listing address that we could kind of use? I'd love to show you my favorite feature.
It would be for a lease listing. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. 7271
I'm typing the 7271
Basque, and that's spelled BASQUE.
BASQUE
Yeah, Country Drive.
Country Drive. Sweet. Thank you for that. So I typed it in there so I wouldn't lose it. So this is why I love Command way over Canva or any of the other ones. They might seem a little easier, but this is a lot more effective. This is where the value proposition from Command truly shines. So I mentioned earlier, you can click when you click the image, this image toolbar will show up. So when I'm not clicking the image, it disappears. But when you click it, the toolbar shows up. But then you'll notice at the very bottom, there's a KWLS button. So if you haven't seen this, this is by far my favorite thing. So Command automatically connects to MLS. So if there's an active listing,
Wow.
it actually connects to the KWLS, which by default connects with the local MLS. It kind of goes for KWLS is the whole listing service for all of KW agents. So you'll find listings from all listings that are active in the KW system, at least in the US. I'm not sure if it applies to outside of the US. But, if the listing is active, we look it up, like we look up 7271 Basque County. As soon as I
Country.
enter, it'll show up.
It's country, not county.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said
That's
country?
okay. Yes.
Oh, you're right. I did type in country. Is that it right there in Magnolia?
Yes, it is.
Oh, awesome. So if you notice, it gave me a list of all these matching listings in KW. Some of them are outside of the state. So you'll see some in Virginia. But once you find the one that's yours, you hit select, and it's awesome because it imports all the photos already. So you don't have to worry about going to MLS, downloading the photos, uploading them. It's all here within Command.
Okay, and that's the old one. So it would need to be the 15007098. Yep, that's
okay.
the correct one you'd want to select. Uh-huh.
Okay. And you can search by MLS number as well if you've got that. So it'll show up, it'll show all the photos, and it's really awesome because it's as easy as, if you notice, when I mouse over the images, it gives me the options to add it or to use it as a background. So right now this image is the background, but if I mouse over this image and I hit replace, it automatically replaces the image. So it's literally that easy.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas.
Right. So it's as easy as just clicking on this image that you want to replace, come over and hit the replace image button, and it swaps it out just like that. So, and it's once you replace the image, it's as easy as just coming through, changing the address, 7271 Basque Country Drive. And just, if you notice when I mouse over, it gives me this little crosshair of arrows. So
Yeah.
once I do this, it allows me to move. This allows me to move the item. I can move it around any part of the graphic that I like. So if the text is too big, I can shorten it a little like this, like in just the same way you would like in Word or in I think in PowerPoint, a lot of people would, resize the graphics like that or the text. And it's that easy. You can swap out the price. If you notice, it says photos here. There's a listing details button. So if you click on that, it automatically imports all the MLS data. So
Holy cow.
price, I can hit
God.
price here, hit replace, and it just swaps it out for, then I can just, select, delete that or so forth. So it's this is my favorite part of designs. The fact that it connects to the MLS and just makes it that much easier and faster and just a lot more efficient. So, and you'll see that it pulls all the data here. So, 4 bedrooms, and so you can just, it's as easy as just kind of clicking. Some of the I know it's not necessarily perfect, but it's definitely way faster than using anything else, just because it lets you import the images directly. And it helps you save space on your computer and, not having to worry about things slowing down or anything like that. So, once we're here, I see that it's 4 bedrooms, it's 2 baths. And those of you, in case you're curious, I'm getting the information from here. So I see that it's got 2 full bathrooms, and I believe it shows me that
It's 2031
square feet. And it was built in 2014. So
yes.
that easy, and it's just listed, and I'm done. I can use any other image. If I want to, maybe some homes sometimes they like to, you like to show the kitchen, or you like to show other aspects of the home. I don't know if that might be the case here or not, but it's as easy as just clicking the photo, coming back, hitting replace, and boom, and it swaps it out just like that. So, and then once you're done. Oh, and I'm sorry, I almost forgot. Always make sure that your DBA, your Market Center logo is on there. So in this case, I can resize this and put it somewhere here at the bottom. Earlier I mentioned that just about every element is editable. So if you see me mouse over, you see the background here. I can resize the background as well. So if I wanted to, I can resize it a little bigger and use my other logo. So it looks good on white, and there. So now, not only does it look clean, it's crisp, it's understandable, but I'm compliant. So it's really that simple. And once you decide, I'm probably going to go back and change this to the front of the house. Go back to KWLS, select the front of the house. So now that I'm done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the image, and I can now use it to share it to Facebook. So at the top,
Dude, seriously? I turned my head for 1 minute and you put a Metropolitan logo on it?
it's the one that was readily available. I feel like I've let you all down. Oh no. So you want to make sure that your logo is on your graphic, and once you're ready, you can use the tools here at the top. So you'll see a download button. Once you mouse over it, it kind of expands out. It says download. There's also a share button. The share, I know it feels like it would be very easy. You can just share, and it's supposed to be able to let you connect to social. Once your Facebook account's connected, it's, ideally you would be able to share it directly from here. The issue is that at the moment, it's not, it shares it as a link. So once we get an update, I'll make sure to let everyone know. But at the moment, the best way is to download the image. So you mouse over, you select download, and it's going to ask you, do you want it as a JPEG, as a PNG, or as a PDF? So for some, you might already know this, but I'll go over it really quickly. These are different file formats. A JPEG is just a regular run-of-the-mill photo. And it used to be that a PNG and a JPEG were different. The only difference between a PNG and a JPEG is that a PNG allows you to have a transparency. So I don't know if you've ever seen someone like slap a logo on like a blue flyer and it looks kind of bad because it's got the white square around it. That's because they didn't use the PNG format. The PNG allows you to have that transparency. So, however, for designs, it really won't make too much of a difference. I'm used to using PNGs. It's a high quality graphic, so I'll just use that. And the PDF is used more for print. So because we're going to upload this into social media, I like to stick with the PNG format. And once I select PNG, I hit download, and it kind of starts preparing the file. You'll see here on the top left that it says it's preparing, the little gears kind of turning, and it'll download it. So now that I've downloaded it, it'll open it up, and now you see that I've got the image. So now that I've got the photo, I can go into Facebook, I can go into an email, and I can either attach it to an email and send it. I can, if you're using something like MailChimp or Constant Contact, you can use that graphic to go in there, and so in case you want to send out like a just listed email, you can use that, or you can just upload it into Facebook or Instagram, whatever works. So it's really that simple. Do you all have any questions so far?
In using command in the areas where there's flyers that are already created, the font that is in gray is so light, I cannot see it, even with my readers.
Great question. Are you talking about like the 721 that just listed?
No, this part is real easy. The flyer you selected, I can read that without my glasses. But on those other flyers that I'm navigating around, I cannot, like the open house flyers and stuff,
Right.
I can't see any of that stuff. What are y'all doing?
So I know a lot of it has to do with just it's, you know, their design trends. Right now, the design trend is, you know, just kind of going with a more minimalist approach. So you'll see a lot of the, like, just kind of like Apple. If you notice, Apple goes along with the very thin fonts. And it's just kind of what the trend is right now. However, you don't have to stick to that. So, and I'm glad that you asked that, because I kind of skipped over that. That was my fault. I'm sorry. So when you're in the text, you do have, when you click on a text, you do see typical just properties of the text that you can change. So like if I, on the 7271, if I highlight it, I can select bold. And if you notice, it makes it bold just like it would in Word. If I highlight it as well, you can also change font. So in the bottom left, I mean at the top left right here, where I have the font selected, you can see that it says Roboto on there. But once I click on it, it'll give me different options. So I can change
For the different font. Okay.
Right. So you can.
Okay. And I see that this is left aligned.
Yeah.
What's interesting, I have one that's actually right aligned or center. How is it that you're changing the alignment?
So, and I'll go through all these options right here. So
Oh, cool.
at the top of the tool, so there's an additional toolbar that shows up at the top of your editor. And it's really awesome because it actually adjusts to whatever you're selecting. So if I select the image, it's going to give me the option to reposition, to change the color, or change the opacity. It's the same thing for this element, like this triangle element. It allows me to change the opacity, change the color, or even the stroke. So it'll adjust to whatever you're selecting. If I'm selecting text, you'll see that it gives me the options. So I'll actually go through all of them really quickly. And it's really cool. So in the text, when you're selecting a text, this right here is the font, so you can swap out the font. And it'll give you the different options. You can swap out, you can change the size, so you can make it, you know, really small at 10 point, or you can make it, you know, just really large. You can make it a 40. You can, you know, it's medium size, and you would just change the font like you would in any word processor. Here it says typewriter. Typewriter is I personally don't. I've never used it. Basically what it is for people that don't like to make the changes like here in person, like, or not in person, I'm sorry, but here like live in the editor, like the set as I'm changing it here, you can use a typewriter to type out the text, you know, 7270, and then when you hit save changes, it updates the element. I personally don't like it, but that option's available. But it's just, because it's as easy as double clicking and highlighting, it's just, I'd rather use that. There's a bold font. So some fonts don't have it. But see, like this one, when I highlight it, says this font does not have a bold option, but most of them do. So if you use a font that does have it, you just click and it gives you bold. So that's what the bold option is. This is the italics. So this is, it just kind of italicizes the text. Again, this font doesn't have it, but I'm sure some of the other ones will. So, this one has it, yeah, so it'll change it to an italics. There's an underline function. There's a letter case, so it'll let you change the letters to either all caps, or see, it'll let you do uppercase or change them to lowercase. I just use a caps lock, but most word processors have them, so it's there. And then the justification, so you can use bullet points, and then you've got the text alignment buttons here. So when you asked me earlier, how is it that it's right or left? You select the text alignment, and then you can either do center justify, left justify. I'm sorry, this is the even justify, the left justify, center, or right. So you can just kind of.
Oh, good Lord. I just realized I was having trouble in Canva, not command. Okay, it works.
Right. You can even adjust, you know, it can get is customizable is you can adjust like word spacing and letter spacing.
Oh, that's terrific. Okay, cool.
So that's what, and you'll see it all here. I would advise to kind of play around with all of these buttons at the top. So that's what, that's what they're there. And it'll customize, it'll change to the element that you're using. So that's what that's about. Once you select an element like this box right here with a background and it's got the stroke. So the stroke is the outline. So, we've selected this element as a box, or it's a rectangle that, you can create in designs. So it's a white rectangle with a black stroke. That's what it is. So I can change that, I can change that to a different color if I want to. And I can change the stroke to a different color as well. Obviously that's not very pretty, but just to kind of show you the functionality. So, the fill color is going to be the inside, the color of the actual box, and then the stroke is going to be the color of the outline. So I'm just going to use a pure black. I'm going to hit apply, and boom. So now it's there. So you can do the same thing for the font. You'll see that there's an opacity. There's a fill color. You can change the color of the font. And I'm going to take this back to its original. I think we were doing it like that. Nope. There we go. So, and this is red, I believe.
Yes.
So, so it'll show up here. The opacity is a really cool tool. The opacity it changes like the transparency of the item. So you'll see like, if you notice this rectangle is purely white. But if you look at this triangle down here, you can kind of see through it a little bit. That's because the opacity is a little lower. So if I select that triangle and I hit the opacity button, it's a slider, and I can drag. If you see, if I drag it down.
Oh, okay, for the transparency.
Right. So it makes it more transparent. So for a lot of designs or a lot of homes, it's pretty awesome to be able to lower the opacity a little bit, so that the graphic is still there. The just listed still stands out. But the home still shows through. So if you got like a chimney photo or a living room or a bathroom, whatever it is, it's a pretty cool way to just kind of make it come through. So you just change the opacity, and the same thing here. So it's just enough so where the text stands out, but you can also see the background. You can remove the stroke at any time as well by selecting this kind of invisible button. When you hit invisible, you hit apply, it deletes the stroke. So now it's there. Now it's gone. So if you happen to be playing around and you make a mistake, you're like, oh no, how do I go back? You'll see up here, there's like a file, there's a history button, and then there's the undo and redo. So right now I just took the stroke away. And if I go back, it'll take it back to the previous. It's the undo. It's like the Control Z. So I know it's still a work in progress, and there's a lot more features that they'll probably be adding or just updating. But for the most part, it works. Like, it works great. It looks good, and it's really easy to be able to import listings and use those photos and so forth. So once you're done with the graphic, you've already downloaded it. You can move over to done, and when you click on done, it's going to take you over to this dashboard, and now you'll see that the graphic that I just created, it takes a little bit to load. But it's there. So I wonder if I hit refresh, there it is. So now I can, open it again, download it, and so forth. Any questions so far? No? Awesome. So that's pretty much how easy it is. So I'm going to show you now in real time how easy it is to just create one, because I know right now we just kind of walk through it, but I just hit plus, hit social, hit next. This loads. I select just listed. I'm going to use this, the same graphic. I'm going to select use. We said that so while this loads, so I'm going to select the image, hit KWLS, look for that listing again, which is 7271 Basque Country. I think this was the correct MLS number. I'm going to hit select.
The 1-5.
Swap out the image, and just swap out the text, and it's like it's less than 5 minutes, I believe, if I'm timing myself. And yeah, so I hope that kind of helps so far, just with the basic creation. And it makes it really easy, y'all. It's pretty cool. I love it. I believe the rent for this was like was it 4,000?
1775.
I'm sorry, I don't know where I got 4,000 from. I was like,
I
wow, that's really
wish
expensive
it
rent.
was 2,000. It's gone down to 1775. What?
It's 4 bedrooms, 2 yeah. So as you know, as you all can see, it's that simple. You know, and remember earlier I mentioned that, you know, if you see a graphic that you like, but you know, instead of it just listed, you want to do an open house, it's as easy as just coming in here and changing this, and you can repurpose the flyer just like that in there. Now it's an open house. You can add dates. You know, you can add dates in here on, you know, somewhere on here if you'd like. And just like that, you know, we're done. So yeah, just to kind of recap, designs it's really simple. It's really easy to create a graphic, and it's easy to just download, upload. So the other feature in designs is that it not only can you create graphics for social media, you can also create print graphics. So when we go to the print layouts, now I'm going to add one and I'm going to select print. You'll see that it'll have different options in the templates. So you can also have like flyers for your, you know, for your app. So you've got, now if you notice, it changed from social media to like jumbo postcards, flyers in letter format, vertical. You've got large postcards. So now you can create postcards that you can mail out. You can send a PDF over to your designer or your print company. You can mail these out and you can promote your app. You can do it just listed. And this is where you'll find the listing presentation. This is where you'll also find the buyer presentations. So once you select print, if you come to the listings, you'll see the listing presentations that are here. The listing presentation is awesome because I know some agents like to have a more generic listing presentation and that they can use, you know, and have it available at all times to go on listing appointments, kind of like a pre-listing packet. And then you can have an actual listing presentation that is customized to the sellers. So you can, you know, click on, it's got the multiple images and the same exact kind of options work. You can come in here, double click on the text and change it. So, you know, instead of Maria, I learned that her name is Janice. I can edit all of the text. I can swap out my photo. I can swap out the name, last name, upload my logo into here, and the photos are, it's exactly the same situation. I can look for the listing on MLS, select it, and I could just swap out that photo, and it's just as easy as everything else. Maybe this one, maybe I can move this up, and I can move this up, and you know, that way it looks good. So the same way that you would edit a design in, you know, for the social media flyers and for the other print graphics, you would do it for the listing presentation. So the only difference between this graphic, the listing presentation, and the other graphics is that they do have multiple pages. So you get this option that says templates, and it's just a matter of clicking, you know, you would click on each page to make the change. So I know the issue that I've been having lately is that it's kind of gone on and off, and it's happening right now. It's not saving the changes. So I know Janice had asked me, you know, if I could go over this in detail, and I was hoping that they'd have this issue fixed. Right now, it's not saving the changes even when you make them. But I just wanted to show you all where the listing presentation is and how it can be edited the same way. So once it's updated and we're able to save the changes and have them stay the way that they're supposed to, I will create a class that's going to go strictly into creating a listing presentation so that you all, and I'll share it through Facebook and so forth. But just know that it's there, and so is the buyer presentation. So that's what we know so far. That's where all the design templates are. Again, they'll show up here. So if you don't have any questions so far, I know Janice, is there something that you'd like me to go over?
You said that you were going to go over the video.
Oh, right. That's what I'm moving on to. I'm not done quite yet. I know
Yeah,
Lauren's
my
asking.
question is, why don't you have any Woodlands logos?
Oh, I do. They're right here. I was
And
doing
Rick,
that in
I
the
had a
background.
question.
You were on here, Ginny, so I'm doing it for you.
Yeah. Rick, also, I had a question. When I go to share this, it has some static website link that it adds to the image. Is that something I can take out?
You can. So that's what I was. I know I had mentioned that earlier. So I would stay away from the share button when you're done, because at the moment it shares it as a link instead of an image. So,
Got it. Thank you.
yeah. So if you want to download the image instead and then just upload it or post it or text it or email it.
Got it.
And I know that
Sorry that you're having to repeat stuff.
No, it's fine. It's okay. So yeah, right now it's just sharing it as a link, and I know that's something that they're going to be working on. I know that Lauren mentioned, would you happen to know why in a smart planning command, when setting up an email, if you choose HTML, it only offers you 6 KWRA templates? Yes. So good question, Lauren. It's the template itself, the custom template creator is currently not taking HTML code very well. So I've tried it a couple of times. Whenever you try to create your own template and add HTML code, it doesn't, because this is more like what's called a WYSIWYG editor. It's not really an HTML editor. It doesn't take the code in very friendly like other aspects of command does. So like on the app, it's really cool. On the app, you can put in custom HTML code and you can edit like the guides, like the seller guides and the buyer guides. But when it comes to the email, it doesn't let you do it very well. So if you've got something that's supposed to be responsive to the screen size, it'll kind of jumble it up and it'll make it the wrong size. So I know they're working on it. It's something that I've actually been talking to Marty over the past 2 weeks, just kind of giving feedback on the email portion. So right now I know it's in the works, but right, it doesn't, you can't add your own other templates or even custom ones. So we've kind of got to stick to what's there if we're using command for email. I'm currently using Constant Contact, but as soon as that option's available, I will definitely switch over to command. Good question.
Yeah, we're also using different like Constant Contact and MailChimp and stuff like that. But it's just really cool if we could design a smart plan that automatically shot out an email that we pre-designed. So, but no,
Right.
I've actually been looking for the answer to that question from multiple people in multiple trainings and formats, and you're the first person who's given me an answer. So thank you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, well, that's what I'm here for. That's why Janice hired me. She's got a good eye. So yeah, and so once it comes available, just definitely count on the fact that I'll be posting videos on that, because that's my forte. And I would love to be able to send those emails out with the smart plan. So good question. So what I'm doing right now is I'm exporting the Woodlands logo so I don't get in trouble, and so that it's available for all of my other listings or all my other listing graphics. So if are y'all okay to move on from the actual graphics and kind of show you how to make the videos? Awesome. So I love videos. It's actually I think videos is the easiest thing to create in command, and it's really cool. So I'm gonna move a window over. I like to have HAR open for this because it's you can customize it really, really well. So in command, you're gonna create it the same way. You're gonna hit to create the video, you're gonna hit the plus icon, and you can select video. When you select video, it gives you this pop-up. So it says create video, select neighborhood. Is there a neighborhood that you want to look up, Shanice?
Try Sterling Ridge.
Whenever it shows up. Yeah, no, I don't think it's there. So
How
cool
about
fact.
Imperial Oaks?
Imperial Oaks. No, it won't. So here's the thing, and it's funny enough. I had this conversation with KWRI. So the neighborhoods in command that kind of show up here, So Command actually gets the data from Nextdoor. I don't know if you're familiar with the app or the website. So there's kind of an agreement between Command and Nextdoor, and that's where the neighborhood boundaries are being pulled from. I know that I know that for the video, they are having for the videos they're working on updating a lot of those neighborhoods. So if you've ever kind of come across that and you're like, man, I wonder where they get the neighborhoods from, they pull them from the Nextdoor data. So I just thought that was a cool fact. And that's why a lot of the neighborhoods don't show up here. So what I've been doing, I'm not quite sure why it does. I would think that the Woodlands would show. The historic GM, is that Greenbridge? Is that Evangel? Is it cool about using any of these?
In order for me to get the Woodlands, I actually had to do Spring, Texas, and then narrow it down. But I noticed you have Sterling Ridge too on there. Is that something you created?
Oh, here it is, Sterling Ridge. All right, so I just had a. It's funny how it didn't show up. It didn't show up when I hit Sterling Ridge. But when I select, I wonder if maybe if I type in the Woodlands. There it is, Sterling Ridge. All right, so it's just a matter of being a little bit more creative with your search. Hopefully it'll get better over time. So what we did was I selected the plus icon, selected add a video. It brought me to this create video. I selected the neighborhood. So I'm going to select Sterling Ridge in the Woodlands. It gives me the blue little check mark. I hit next. So automatically, it's really cool. Automatically, it uses just data from the KWLS and just data that KW has already collected, and it populates this information. So it automatically gets the average home price. It deducts based on historical data whether the prices have been on the rise, and it's whether they've been on the rise, whether they've been on the decline or holding steady. So it kind of populates all that for you. If you're happy with it, when you hit agent information, your information's already populated in there from your marketing profile, and your DBA information's in there. So if you're happy with the information, it's just a matter of hitting next and it'll download the video. However, what I love about this is that it's fully customizable. So, I get a lot of agents, especially teams that farm a specific area. And they're like, Rick, can we create it? So the cool thing about it is that every piece of information on here is editable. So even though I selected Sterling Ridge, if I wanted to, I could, if I was doing something, is it Carlton Woods? Is that like one of the neighborhoods there? So I can type in Carlton Woods. If the average home price is a lot higher than this, or what I assume would be, I can edit so what a lot of agents do is they'll create like a quick CMA on a neighborhood. You'll go into HAR, you create a quick CMA, and all of this information is available in the quick CMA. So the average home price you can get from a quick CMA, the current number of listings that are active in the neighborhood you can get from there, the average price per square foot, and just based, as an agent, obviously once, when you do your research, you kind of know the market already, especially if it's your farm. So you're able to just, I don't want to say dictate, but you're able to know if the prices have been either on the rise, on the decline, or holding steady. So, if the price has been the average home price, I don't know Carlton Woods, I just heard it recently, so that's why I brought it up. But if the average home price is like 2.5 million, then I can just type the price in there and I can say, it's holding steady. I can say that the average price per square foot is, excuse my math, I'm just going to say it's like 450 dollars per square foot. That's the average price. That's also been holding steady. And the number of homes for sale right now, I can say that there's 40 listings for sale, and that the average days on market is actually not what it says here, but based on the CMA, it shows to be, 110 days is the average days on market or something. So as you can see, I was able to update all of that information. So I was able to add that information. I even though it wasn't the neighborhood that I selected, I typed it in. So I made it custom to whatever I want to send out. And now that the information, the data in there is put in, where it says neighborhood features, it's pretty cool because it gathers this information usually from Nextdoor, but because I'm using a custom neighborhood that I added in, I can, you're supposed to select 3 features that kind of describe the neighborhood. So for the neighborhood that we had previously, it said it's known for its leisure wear, fitness oriented, or trendy eats. However, you can only select 3, but you can delete those and then hit the drop down, and there's all these different options. So I'm not familiar with Carlton Woods because I live near the Galleria area. But, you know, if you know the neighborhood, you're able to select, hey, you know, this is known for, you know, it's maybe for athleisure wear. I assume it's a pretty affluent community. You know, for coffee culture, daytime leisure. You know, you can kind of select top 3, you know, hardworking, so forth. So you can select your top 3 descriptors. And it's cool because, and you'll see it in the video, once I move forward, my agent information is already in there. It should already be populated. My market center information is already in there, and I hit next. So now it generates a video. It says it takes about 10, 15 seconds. And it's really neat because it kind of creates the video based on the information that you put. So see, now you notice how it says welcome to Carlton Woods, because that's the information that I added in there. And it's really neat. It creates a video. I'm going to maximize it. I'll shut up for a few seconds so y'all can hear. So you'll see it shows the date that it was created. It'll show the average home prices.
That is so cool.
It's awesome, right? It says 40 homes are for sale. I know I promised I would shut up, but I'm not, because this is cool. So I put in the information. I put in that's 100 days. So it says, you know, it'll say on there. And I'm going to scroll back. Remember earlier I mentioned that you can select whether the prices are on the rise or not, or they're on, you know, on the decline. It'll populate it in here, and it'll say average price per square foot is holding steady. So if I would have selected on the rise, it would show it's on the rise or on the decline. So it's really awesome. So it'll show you how many actives are for sale, how many properties are active. And then you'll see it says, hey, look, this is what locals have to say about Carlton Woods. And then, so remember I selected these 3 kind of descriptors. It's really cool because it's got little graphics that kind of are associated with each one. So if you notice, when I selected a leisure wear, it shows like the little gym, kind of fitness, healthy eating. So it's kind of a somewhat vague graphic. So if I were to select it like something like healthy eating or working out, it would have given me the same graphic, but it's relevant to what I selected. So daytime leisure, you see there's like entertainment, leisure related graphics. For hardworking, it's like a business related graphic. So it's really cool how it kind of knows. It's like a smart system that kind of knows. And, you know, average home prices, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Like, it was that easy. And then at the end, it shows your contact information video. I love that. So what'd you guys think about that video?
I would love it more if it had a Woodlands logo.
Well, I don't know if I can change that. Well, yeah, I probably can since I'm not an agent. But isn't it awesome? Isn't it how easy it is to create that? And so once, just like any other design, once it's done, it'll show up here in your design templates. So if I refresh, I guess it's showing up kind of empty, but if I click video, remember earlier I mentioned that these are filters for the designs that you've created. So if I select video, oh, you know what? I didn't save it. All right. So I'm going to create one again. I'm going to make this one really quick. Sterling Ridge, Woodlands. Just for the sake of moving quickly on this one, I'll leave the data that's in there. So once it creates the video, I got excited and I hit play because I wanted to show you all the cool stuff in it. And I didn't realize that I didn't save it. That was my mistake. So once it kind of generates the video, it's kind of going and going. It's crazy how 10 seconds feels like so long. I remember in the 60s, those commercials were like a minute long, and now it's like 10 seconds takes forever. So once once you're okay, if you're happy with the video, you hit save, and then now it says video saved successfully, and it should show up here. So I'm gonna refresh. So it's there now. You see how it says welcome to Sterling Ridge. So now that your video is available in your templates, you can, when you mouse over, you see the 3 little, I used to call them hamburger dots because they used to be lines, but you hit the little dots and you can hit download and it'll download the video. So now you can use this video and just about in the same way you would use an image. You can share it on social media. You can, if you're using like Constant Contact or MailChimp, you can upload it in, or you can share it in there. You can upload it to YouTube and share the link. I mean, there's endless possibilities, and it's awesome. And the great thing is that it's so easy that if you are farming a neighborhood, you can do this weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, whatever, however your campaigns or your touches are typically. So those neighborhood videos are really simple. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. So I wanted to leave the last, I guess, I don't know if anyone has any other questions. I'd be happy to answer anything, or if anyone wants me to go over anything else, I can create another graphic or just go a little bit more into detail.
Looks like you're recording this, so tell us
Yes.
where the recording is going to be.
So yes, I will be sharing this. Once this is done, once the recording is completed, I'd be happy to, I'll share it over to Janice so that you all can have access to it. I'll also upload it into the YouTube, and I'll upload it into KW Connect. So I have been helping Janice and everyone at the Woodlands office with just any of the command stuff. So just, feel free to ask any questions. That's what I'm here for. Janice, I don't know if you have any questions or anything that maybe, since I know I haven't been around too long, but anything that you'd like me to kind of gloss over or look over that maybe agents have been asking you?
Not about designs. The agents find, and I have found, that it's a little clunkier than what we're used to in Canva or in eEdge even, because I can get to MLS photos in eEdge. But one day, someday, which I don't know the day, we will not have eEdge or back agent anymore, because we'll go all the way to command. So getting used to working in designs makes it less clunky.
Yes. So that is very correct. So y'all, I know that like using Canva is probably easier. But the more we use it, the more feedback we can get, because that's, we have to remember that command has been created through programmers or by programmers through agents, right? So it's been done with agent feedback. However, sometimes, programmers don't think like agents because they're programmers. So whenever, like even in designs, it's a little clunky because a lot of those things in there are a lot more, they make sense to programmers, but they just don't always make sense for agents because it's two completely different worlds. So I know that's kind of the situation right now, but I feel that there's still a lot of value in command, just like being able to pull in through KWLS and have those photos readily available. That's something that Canva, no matter how easy it is to use, doesn't do, and it's time saving. So you all saw whenever I ran through the design the second time without, kind of teaching, it took me about, 3-4 minutes. I think what took me the longest is just waiting on the page to load. So there's definitely a lot of value there, and don't hesitate to reach out. We can get like really advanced in it. And I'd love to teach like an advanced class on designs in the future. That'll go, once you've kind of got used to using commands, we can get a little bit more creative with a lot of the cool stuff that can be done. But it's definitely very valuable. I do want to share something with you. I just remembered right now when Janice mentioned just being able to use command and just having resources. I want to share some of the resources that I have available, or that are available to everyone, just to public. I don't have these. I totally took credit for something that's not mine. So I use a couple of websites. So if you're creating graphics, this is really cool. You can use the stock photos that are available in command. And if you just want to, post about something on social media, I want to take this time to talk about just marketing efforts. Is that okay, Janice? Can I take me about 5 minutes? So this is what I'm good at, and this is what I've been doing for years. I've helped grow a team in a coaching program and even here at the Met. And so with everything going on right now, just in the world and everyone shifting their efforts, online presence is very important. Command is a tool. It's a great tool that's going to help you market your business. But if I can share a piece of advice, be present online. Don't just post about your business. I know Gary Keller teaches this, and just everyone in bold, says, we even learned this in Ignite, people like to do business with people they like. So what that kind of segues into is if you're going to be posting on social media, I would suggest, make real estate related posts maybe every fourth or fifth post. So out of every 5, if you post 5 times, make only one of those specifically business, real estate related. And that's because if you continue to post just listed or just open house, it's great. And at the same time, it also becomes kind of, a lot of people take it as spammy. And it also messes with your algorithm. So I've got I'm working on a 30-day challenge that I'd like to, I'm going to talk to Janice about maybe kind of going over this in a class as well, coming up shortly, or soon. But it's, you want to post about, just general things. You want to post about, I wouldn't, I don't want to talk about politics or news right now with the current environment, but, just about anything, there's a lot of resources around. So if you want to post about your favorite coffee shop, you want to help a local business, you want to post about something awesome that happened, like people like to feel like they're a part of you, right? They're a part of your world, they're a part of your life. And then, sprinkling in the, oh, look at this open house. It's a lot better going to a virtual open house with someone that which in this case is you, because they've gotten to know you through your social media presence, as opposed to just, from what they see as an agent that they just kind of saw online. So I want to show you some resources. I use a website called unsplash.com. And Unsplash is great because it's royalty photography. It's royalty-free photos that you can use. So like if you're posting about your, coffee shop, you can, I totally misspelled coffee. But you can look up like a photo on coffee and pick one of these, download it, and then post, something cool and say, my favorite day is coffee. You can ask a question. And just ask people like, hey, what's your favorite type of coffee? Do you drink Americano? Blah, 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 blah. So unsplash.com is a great resource. I'm going to put this in the chat to get royalty-free photos. These you can use without getting into any legal trouble. Just don't forget to, put the KW Woodlands logo on there so you don't get into trouble. But they've got great resources on just about anything. You want, there's party stuff, so there's all sorts of free photos. So obviously they're not always great, but they're free and they're royalty free. So you can use Unsplash or you can use pixabay.com. So I like to use those in combination with this cool other resource. It happens that you run out of ideas sometimes. And sometimes you're like, man, I don't know what to post today. Because I would advise, try to post every day if you can, even if it's not business related, just staying consistent. You want to stay on top. And I know in Ignite session 2, well, before Ignite 2.0, session 2 was the build your database, the build your business class. And they taught about staying top of mind. The average consumer remembers only 7 brands that are consistently top of mind, right? So posting consistently, you want to make sure that people, you stay in front of people, and just posting every day helps you do that, because, people only remember the top 7 real estate agents, or that consistently stay on top, or even less. So, use the resources that are available. I run out of ideas sometimes. So there's this website called the National Day Calendar. So I don't know if you've ever heard people say things like, hey, today is like National Hot Dog Day. This week is National, hot dog ketchup and no mustard awareness week. You all these crazy things. And so this is a website where you can kind of find out, it's called National Day Calendar. And you can kind of look at, what you can kind of take ideas from here and say, hey, what's tomorrow? I don't know what I'm going to post tomorrow, but I'm going to look here. And there is, all these random national days. There's World Multiple Sclerosis Day. So that's interesting. So that's tomorrow. You can, look up something, a photo related to health, or, just the medical industry. And you can grab a photo from here, make an interesting post about it tomorrow, and there's your post for the day. So, and it'll show you things such as, national days, national weeks, and so forth. So it's really cool. These are pretty awesome resources. It's just a cool tip in case you run out of ideas. It's great to be able to kind of come through and just, pick something, that way you can have something to post regardless. So
Can you put those in the chat, please? The last 2?
Yes. Sorry, I got it. So Pixabay, those are free photos. and National Day calendar. These are resources that I like to use just to kind of, not run out of ideas. So I hope that I hope whatever I shared was valuable to you all. I think I'm kind of done with the basics command class and my little rant on marketing. If you all have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm going to post my email address in the comment in the chat. It's rickmdc@kw.com. I've been around at KW for a few years, and I'm very familiar with the culture, and I'm here to help. So if anyone ever has any questions, I know you've got Ross as the ALC and head of the tech committee, and Janice to help out. But if y'all have any questions, I'm also available. So let me know if you have any command questions, anything with marketing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a way to do a automatic push of one of the templates that you would have created using your database? So if I went out, for instance, the video,
Right.
if you wanted to push a video to, say you want to pick 15 people that's in your database and you wanted to send that specific video to, is there a way to do an automatic push of pulling that, tagging it in some way, and putting a timer on it, and it automatically goes out?
Yes. So I wouldn't say there's an automatic trigger because Smart Plans doesn't have an automatic initial trigger yet. Right now, the way Smart Plans work is you have to add them to the Smart Plan, and that's how it triggers the Smart Plan. So the way that I would do it is I would upload the video into YouTube because YouTube's kind of all encompassing for just to be able to share. So once you upload it into YouTube, you can use that link and put it into the Smart Plan the same way you would just text. And remember that most phones, whenever they get a YouTube link, it kind of populates that. It shows a little video thumbnail. So it kind of looks like you're sending the video as well without overbearing their data. And at the same time, it's kind of a nice way to be able to send it in the Smart Plan. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I was hoping it had something a little bit more direct, because like when you, when I put in the address for someone, I'm loading a contact, and then when I load their address and it automatically pulls in the neighborhood for them, most of them it'll show up the neighborhood. So,
Right.
And it will show automatically subscribe to that neighborhood,
Right.
where that individual will start getting neighborhood updates on
Right.
it automatically. And I guess that's where I was coming from.
Oh, got it. Yeah, you're talking like the market snapshots?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, kind of like the market snapshots that they get automatically as part of the neighborhoods campaign.
Right. Right. Since that was kind of like a automatic push for whatever the timing, I think I had like monthly updates or something like that.
Got it. I get what you're saying.
Right.
I don't see why. That's actually a very good question. What I'll do is I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to see if I'm sure there's kind of a workaround that can be done, like maybe editing the neighborhood Smart Plan to where it includes that second touch with the video.
Yeah.
But even then, it wouldn't be auto. I'm sorry, I'm kind of thinking here just as I'm talking.
It's not automatic. You would have to put them on the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan or the biweekly neighborhood nurture smart plan. It doesn't happen automatically.
Right. Right. No, what you're saying is that the video,
Yeah.
there's a way to have the video created automatically.
Yeah, I have them on, and I was just using that as an example for someone where I've put them on that plan. Then it shoots it out, correct?
Mhm.
It does the automatic thing for whatever, if it was, monthly or bi-weekly or whatever it is. So I was curious if when you go into your marketing template information and you create something out of that, and you mentioned about maybe making it somewhat of like a smart plan, I guess, functionality. And that's where I was kind of going. If it was a way where you could do an automatic push, if I just
No, that's not a function that I would say it'd be awesome if we can head in that direction. But I don't, because the videos have to be manually created at the moment.
Right.
I don't see how it'd be feasible just because you'd have to create it every time and stay on top of it. And that kind of defeats the purpose of a smart plan.
Well, I guess
But
that's,
hopefully in the future, that'd be a great feature.
yeah, I was just wondering if it was a way, once you, like you have your library or whatever of template
Right.
things you created, if you tag that and then was able to tie that automatically up there where you got your contacts, go in and click those and it folds it all in together and shoots it out. If you put a timer, I want it to go out next Tuesday, and
Right.
it takes that whole package and sends it out. That was what my question was.
Yeah. No, I get it completely. But yeah, it's not available yet. I don't think there's any system out there that can do that. Just because, just based on smart plans, the way that those neighborhood smart plans work, it does gather data at that moment. So it's also like live fed data through the system. It wouldn't make sense to add a video that's not being updated as well at the same time with the current data. So I'm totally not aware of any.
Yeah,
any
I was
system
just
that does that.
using the neighborhood data thing as an example. It could be, you could create some other type of thing very differently. But I was just wondering if the technology was there, where if you did create something from a marketing standpoint, whether it's some announcement or something like that versus going through the regular email, if there was a way you could stay in command and do those same things.
Oh, not yet. I know that's something that they're working on, though, especially being able to send that from within command. Right
Yeah,
now, that's not
I was
not an
trying to
option.
keep it on the same platform and be able to, go from one space to another space without coming out and going into your email and all that. Okay.
We'll get
And-
there.
And
We'll definitely
speaking
get
of, since you're working on some of this stuff, just one other quick question. I had asked this in one of our other sessions, but when once someone's email address is loaded in command, every email between me and that individual is pulled in on the timeline for that individual on that command page for them.
right.
And is there a way to turn that off or modify that in any way so that every email that's coming and going between the two of you is not on that timeline? Because right now it pulls every email in between you and that person.
I feel that that's a good Janice question because I feel that that's more for compliance.
Oh,
I don't think there is a way to turn that off. That's a feature that they thought everybody would want, which, because we're supposed to have a communication log in every transaction, that would be a great place to keep the communication log.
yeah, I was just saying it's so long, it could be so long on there. And I didn't know that everything popped up in there, but
Yes, ma'am.
question. Okay. That was it for me.
Okay, and Rick, I had a question also. Now was trying to create a flyer, and the images are not replacing. I'm trying to do that where you were showing through where we can load in the address,
Right.
and it's not. There's not a single image that I'm getting to replace. It's overlying the whole thing. So what the heck am I doing?
Is the image popping up like is it just popping up in the middle of the design?
Yes.
Right. So what you need to do is instead, because what you're doing is you're probably clicking on the image that you're selecting, but if you mouse over it, you'll see that these little icons pop up in the top, and one of them looks like a little recycle button. So let me show you really quickly.
Okay, I'm getting all the way out of here of everything that I have tried and getting back to the original because this is really.
Shelley,
Okay,
first
there's a
click
bit of
the image. Click the
Yeah.
image you want to replace first.
Okay, so I'm just getting a whole new flyer.
Are you able to share your screen?
I'm on my iPad. I can log on real quick to show the screen.
Okay. Well,
Let me do it. Let's see, how did we do this again? We're doing this through KW.
are you using command on your laptop?
Yes, I'm on command on my laptop and I'm on my iPad for this class.
All right. So let me Here, let me show you my screen. I know exactly what you're talking about, and let me show you. So I'm just loading this quick graphic. So first, are you looking at a listing through KWLS?
Yes, I did the 7271. Okay, I'm pulling that back up. Selecting. Okay,
What was the address?
7271 Basque,
There
BASQUE.
we go. I'd forgotten what that was. Okay, so I'm going to
And
select.
selecting that one right there. You got it.
So the first thing that you need to do is first you need to select. In order to replace an image, you need to tell command which one you're going to
Tell it which image. Yep. So
I'm
I
gonna
clicked on
replace
the
this
main
one.
image. And when I click on the main image, then when I come over here, I see that little recycle image.
Right.
Then, well, okay. I just needed you to do it at the exact same time because it worked that damn time.
I have that. It happens.
I swear I did this 20 times. Now I'm going down to the little image of the chickie that's in this flyer. And I'm like, okay, I want to use my image, not AMP images. Where the heck is that? What the heck? So do I every time have to load my own image? Like why is that not staying in there?
Sorry, my lights went off for a second. So okay, you asked if you had to upload your image every time?
Yeah, like so my image
no.
is not in here again. So I
So-
have to go over.
So I was actually talking to someone about this morning, and so the worker, it's a work. I hate using the word workaround because that establishes that it's not the way that it's supposed to work. However, so when you are, it used to be that there's a button down here that let you add to your library.
Yeah.
And you just made me realize that I did not go over that. Ugh. So I'm glad you asked that question. And I'm glad this is being recorded. So when you're in the templates, do you see my screen right now?
Yes.
You see how on the right there's a plus library button?
Yes.
So if you select the plus library, here is a library of all of your like stored information that's going to be in command. So you'll have your details, which is your name, your broker, and all that here.
Plus library. Yep.
You'll have text. I don't use this, but this is like if you have a slogan that you constantly use, it's there.
Oh, images.
Here you have images and logos.
So I could get out of the stuff I don't want. Oh my gosh. And
So
stop
here
looking
you
at
can,
stuff.
so if you've got images that you're going to constantly be using.
Yes. Like
if
my
you have
headshot.
Right. So if you have images that you're constantly going to be using, they're available. You can use them, upload them here. And then that way, so any image that you upload, so if I've got the downloads, here is
Like
the
the
logo.
Keller Williams logo.
Right. So
The Woodlands logo. That was for Janice's purpose.
so now that I've uploaded in here,
Yep.
when I create the design, it should be in the images. If I go to my library, it's there now. You see?
Wow. Okay.
Now
Got
it's
it.
there. So, man, I'm sorry I skipped over that earlier. So the thing is that it used to be, and I hope that they bring it back. It used to be down here at the bottom. That way you can edit it kind of on the fly, and it's a lot easier and more just kind of user friendly.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, so once you upload the photo into your library and the logo, that's how you kind of keep them there at all times, so you don't have to upload it constantly. That's a very good
Okay.
question.
Okay, so it allows you to do, that's really weird. Okay. So now that I've put those in the library, I can try. So now when I click on my library, okay, I see the logos now. There. Click on the image, and then I can do the KW listing.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, that would be so much easier for the open houses. Also, I was trying to create those individually. So click on the image and then replace the image. Okay. Outstanding. And so then on the font, which you're still pulling these nice, big, beautiful images. Are those postcards that you're using?
I didn't know. I think right now I think I went into, well, I didn't pay attention.
Because on the flyers, like, will you pull up a flyer? I want to know if it's just me and my laptop, but I'm like, oh my God, like I can't see a single solitary thing. So if I put just listed, now you're selecting Facebook, so that's something that's bigger. Yeah, but if you went into, not in there, get out of that, not doing the socials, but if you're actually trying to build a flyer, for example. So I clicked print, or just the plus and then select print. Yep. And then listing, click, open house, just listed, anything.
Okay.
Flyer. See the font like on those? It is so stinking small. Like, so if you were to click like that gray one that says the great big white letters with open house.
This one?
Yeah. See, I can see the open house, the dollar amount. I can't see in that paragraph, like what the heck it says below there, and none of that stuff. So I'm like, how are you editing that when you can't even see it to
I
land
see what
on
you're
it?
saying. So at the bottom right,
Uh-huh.
you see that there's a zoom.
Oh, wait, let me get your, let's, oh my God. I have been, that is stinking hilarious. Okay, well now I can't see the words at all
Right, so you can
on
zoom in
there, but I
you
was
can
doing
zoom
it by
in.
the 3 hamburger buttons on the top right, the actual screen, and that just was not helping. But at least that helps some. Wonderful. That's better.
Yeah, so that allows you to kind of zoom in and just get a little bit more, on the smaller text, be able to kind of see what you're editing.
Yes. Because I couldn't even see the logo. I was like, where in the world is this?
Yeah.
Because it has like suggestions of what to say, but I couldn't see it. Okay.
Right.
Oh, how silly. Yep, never saw that. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting because if you go over to the hamburger on the top right-hand side and you adjust your view by zooming, it's funny how it enlarges. Like, check, this is kind of funny. Check that hamburger and then click where, I don't know where you're at. On the top right-hand side, like when you're trying to view your percentage.
Right. So it's what I'm just doing the shortcut version of it. You're talking about this right here.
Yes, it's funny how it adjusts that left column and the image.
Right, because the way it's coded. The shortcut to that, by the way, if you hit Control plus or minus, it does the same thing.
Oh, outstanding. Okay, cool. Thank you.
But yeah, I would use that's why the zoom here is in there for the editor, because it zooms in on the image itself.
Okay.
Hey, Rick,
outstanding.
I noticed that you don't highlight the way that I do. You highlight like by character. You're using a shortcut on the keyboard, aren't you?
When I highlight what, I'm sorry.
Like if you wanted to highlight open house, I would just click 3 times on open house.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'll click. I'm clicking here now. I'm double clicking to get into it, and then I just. Or yeah, I do use shortcuts sometimes. So I'll hit Control A. Control A means select all, and it'll select everything inside. Like that.
Okay.
I'm a cheater. I cheat like that sometimes.
I know you do.
That's what we're seeing.
I like to. I like to do things quickly. So, all right. So, is there any other questions? Anything that?
No, extremely helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. So I know
Thank you, Rick.
will definitely be a lot more streamlined. Now that I saw some of the updates that happened in the past 2 days, next class will definitely be a lot more streamlined, and I'll have better flow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Have a great weekend.
You too. I'll go ahead and end the class now. Bye.
Bye, Shelley.
Bye. Y'all have a fabulous weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.